Hey, this is Mike Yuhaniak, Yuhaniak.com. This is the video companion to the February 18, 2008 newsletter, Troubleshooting the Box Squat. So what I want to do here, we're going to do this video in two parts. The first part here, we're going to go over why we box squat. The second part, I'm going to show you how I progress from body weight to weighted. The next part, we're going to go into some simple cues. And in the second part of the video, we'll go over common errors and anything else that I feel like I left out. Alright, so the first part, why do you box squat? Alright, so the main thing is going to be to develop the posterior chain of the body. You're really reminiscent of the deadlift video here, me pointing at my own buttocks. Anyway, most people walk in the door when I see them, since I work with both athletes and regular people, are just woefully undeveloped on the backside of the body. So I use two main things. You saw the first one, the rack pull or deadlift variations before. The other one's going to be the box squat here. That's the main reason we do that, to teach people how to engage these muscles, fire the proper muscles, right sequence. Next reason we do it, teach people how to get out of a chair without pain. Most people sit and they, oh God, my back hurts. When I used to work in physical therapy, this is one of the ways I taught people to use their backside, take the back out of the equation and have less pain when they get up. Okay? The other thing, going back to the rehab setting, this is great for people who've torn their ACL, because full squats, the range of motion tends to really pull on the knee, and this is a great way to build up the backside, get you used to that, strengthen the supporting knee musculature so that you can actually go back to traditional squatting and return to the field faster. And the other thing to do, since I work with a lot of athletes, this is great as a general preparatory exercise to get them to learn how to use their hips in power generation instead of the fact we sit all day, we use way too much quad and everything else. So with that said, first thing I'm going to do is show you how we do a basic bodyweight box squat. Using a great box here I got from EliteFTS.com. Some of the best powerlifting and other strength information you'll find around. If you don't have one of these, you can use a regular chair or a box or a bench. But the main thing we do, I'll go over the technique in a minute. I'll show you first, then break it down. Just going to sit back nice and deep and come up. That's the basic movement. Things you want to remember. You're going to set up with your feet wider than shoulder width. Most people when they're first starting out, this is the general population, you're going to have your feet a little turned out to open up the hips. Loosen since your calves are technically too tight. I won't get into that now, but that's what most people think. And also you're going to be, so like I said, wider than shoulder width. You're going to get nice and tall, and you're going to initiate the movement by pushing your butt backwards. So you get wide here, you're nice and tall. First thing that moves is your buttocks, okay? So if you look at the lower leg shin angle, it's going to stay at least perpendicular to the floor, if not further. So I sit back, and I load up, okay? So feet are nice and flat. I'm actually going to apply a little outward pressure so I can engage these muscles in here. Working the back and the middle here. It's like loading up a rubber band. As I sit, I push out, I sit back, and this is loaded up right now. It's like a big spring, and then on the way up, it just comes back together. You load it up, you don't lose tension at the bottom, and you come up. Now, a lot of people, they're not going to have the flexibility or the strength to do this right away. So we're going to start with some sort of pad or whatever to reduce the range of motion. So we come here, they sit onto the pad, and come up. Personally, I'm not a fan of loading up the box squat, put external load, a bar or anything else, a plate, chain, whatever, until you can do this with just your body weight. So if you're one of those people who's watching this video, you can't do that, you kind of look like this or something like that, work on your technique, sitting to a box so you can maintain good form, and then come back up. And as you get better, you'll reduce this so that the range gets more to where we want it to be, which is going to end up being about the femur, the big thigh bone. It's going to be at least parallel to the ground, maybe a little above or below, coming up, okay? So what I'm going to do next is show you how to do this with a bar, lightweight. Well, lightweight for me. So if you can do that, you pass that test, you're simple, you can follow all that. We're going to come up here, grab a bar, same technique, feet wide, chest up, push the knees and feet out a little. You're going to sit way back. Back, then come up. Nice pause on the box there. Push your belly out a little, make yourself fat. Come up. Boom. Sitting back. Boom. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to put on another plate just to show you that as your weight gets a little higher, you don't have to lose that form. So like I said, your form should really not degrade once you add a little weight on there. It's still pretty light for me, but still, the form should be damn similar. boom, boom. Sitting back, come up. So how do we cue that? If you're a coach, or if you're just trying to figure it out yourself, things to remember. Feet out nice and wide. Now cues, I like cues when I cue someone, try and get them to remember certain key facts. That's the whole point. If you're coaching someone, you just want to say, you know, a quick thing they can remember and prompts them to do the motion you need. So in this case, things to remember. As you sit, you're going to push your knees out, butt back, puff your chest up to keep that nice neutral lower back. And you're also going to want to squeeze the bar to engage the back muscles, okay? So if I'm coaching someone, it depends what they're doing, but the first thing I'm probably going to say is butt back, because most people forget to sit back. Sit way back, 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 and then come up. All right, if they're not doing that right, if they're doing that right, we're going to do other things, such as, you know, they're not pushing their knees out, tell them to push their knees out. All right? I mean, it's not that complicated. What you want to do, you want to find a lifting partner or a coach or even film yourself, and you can make sure that you're doing it right. And if you spot any of these errors, we'll go over in part 2, just remember certain things like squeezing the bar, puffing your chest up, whatever you're lacking, okay? So that's all for part 1. We'll go into part 2 in just a sec, all right?